What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Lucid. They just put out their Q1 production and delivery numbers and it was better than anticipated. So I'm going to go over all the things that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. So the market's been open about 30 minutes, currently up 2.84%. A lot of volume. So 5.7 million shares have been traded. 28 is the average. So like I said, bigger institutions were clearly waiting for some positive piece of news. As you can kind of see, already 6 transactions above $100,000 on the secondary market, blowing the last several weeks out of the water. So today is going to be a very heavy volume day, and obviously based off the bid, the ask, and the selling price, all of this is buys. So pretty good stuff behind the scenes. And the news that did come out, or I guess the numbers that did come out, is that during Q1 they produced 1,728 vehicles, a little bit higher than the, I guess, rumor that did come out a couple days back, and they did deliver 1,967 vehicles. So the first time in their existence, they have delivered more vehicles than they produced. So they're finally clearing the inventory or the backlog or whatever the hell you want to call it. So in reality, I think that is kick-ass news. And most likely this news that did come out on February the 15th about them cutting the prices on the Pierre, Air Touring, Air Grand Touring, clearly this was that defining factor that really pushed the sales. So again, clearly insinuating people do want lower priced vehicles. Hopefully they do mention that during their upcoming earnings, which is going to be right here on Monday, May the 6th, 2024. And then aside from that though, you do see starting on April 22nd, they're going to be allowing shareholders to pose questions. So this is in reality, one of the key things that I've really stressed to a lot of investors and during my videos is that this is one of the rare opportunities that you have to pose questions. So you need to think about this logically. Don't ask ideally about Apple this time around, especially considering Apple's come out saying that they are not really pursuing that their vehicle anymore, so Project Titan. So I think right now you need to focus on more operational questions, Gravity, mid-size SUV, things along those lines. So I think all in all, this is absolutely epic news. And you do see as soon as it did come out, it had a nice spike to around $2.90. In my opinion, at least based on like technicals and whatever else, that usually is a precursor to where Lucid typically goes, or just any stock goes. So in my opinion, that might be a fairly good thing. And this does kind of talk on the technicals as far as support and resistance points. So I think this is very, very good news, better than I would have anticipated as well. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. And I guess just to quickly bring it up, typically in the past several years is Q3 and more specifically Q4, that is where they ramp up significantly. So based off of these numbers, if they can kind of duplicate this every single quarter and then hit a home run in Q4, they're going to far exceed their targets for 2024 of 9,000. So I think that is a very good thing overall. Aside from that though, just to talk on shorts, right now shorts are increasing 305,000 shares. So despite the news, they don't really give two craps. So in reality, with their upcoming Q1 earnings, we'll just have to wait and see what they do give for future guidance or kind of what they talk on gravity wise, because maybe shorts might be potentially burned. We'll just have to wait and see. But 29.86% of the free float is being shorted. Utilization is at 100%, but right now a grand total of 264.56 million shares overall are being shorted, and that works out to be 697.62 million overall. Options wise, again, the market just opening, so take that with a grain of salt, but 52,000 in calls, 59,000 in puts. Sentiment wise, 49% of all the options being done today are optimistic and bullish, and of the call options, there's an anticipation for it to be above $3. So I think a little bit more optimism is kind of flowing back into Lucid. Then looking at puts, you don't really see much. There's a consensus for it to be sub $3. So like I said, risk versus reward, very much in the upside. Dark pool is abnormally quiet this morning, so you do only have one transaction, and that is usually linked to shorting or just large institutions. But one thing that you most likely can anticipate to come for the rest of the day, nothing's really come out yet, but analyst ratings. So usually once analysts can review the numbers, they'll be able to adjust the revenue and the multiples and everything behind the scenes. So they'll be able to give a lot more price targets. And in my opinion, you should see a lot more like $4 to $5 to $6 price targets based off of these numbers. I could be wrong though. I'm not a financial advisor, so you guys always do your own due diligence. And I have and I will continue to monitor analysts for their upcoming earnings to see if there's any estimate changes for earnings per share, revenue, or any of the other key metrics. Right now, there hasn't been any changes since my last update. I think it was a couple days back. But moving on, right now, with it currently at $2.75, it is between this S1 and the pivot. So $2.96 will be that target. So essentially where it kind of went to pre-market. So that's going to be the next strong resistance. Whether it touches that today or not, I don't know. Maybe CPI might be that kind of push that Lucid has been needing to get to this and break above it and back into the threes and whatever else. And when it comes to this S1, we do know this is a very strong support. It bounced off of this over the last 3 trading days, possibly even 4. So it did have kind of a low today so far of $2.62. But on the actual chart, it is right now as we speak attempting to transition into the higher percentile. So very good stuff in my opinion, based off of just the technicals. And as I've said in the past, if there's a good piece of news that does come out associated to whether it be Lucid or the broader market, you're going to see a rush of value investors. And you can tell that based off of the volume and just the large institutional investors getting in today. So right now it is still considered oversold, and you do see a start of a nice deviation. So bullish deviation, white line above the red. As well, a number of retail investors are getting in. So pretty exciting stuff for Lucid. Like, I think a lot of investors have been waiting a very long time for some positive results, and this has been it. I think it deserves a round of applause at least. So that interim CFO, they must have been really screwing with investors during the last call, because he did say that Q1 numbers weren't necessarily the best. So maybe he was just screwing with shorts, or I have no idea. But once again, maybe he was actually telling the truth, and this was that defining factor, like I said, about them cutting rates. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Are you buying Lucid right now? Are you selling? In my opinion, I feel like with this news and assuming CPI is somewhat positive and not outrageously negative, this could be the point where Lucid does head back into the $3 range because of that positive news. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And one final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and they do give you 7 fractional shares of the 𝗪𝗧𝗛, so a $35 total value. Pretty good return on investment for throwing $100 at a new account. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.